Good day, everyone. Now we will be talking about looping. So, for this lesson, the objectives are you will be able to know the importance of looping in a program, learn the basic programming techniques and syntax, and to make a program using the three types of looping, which are for, while, and do while looping. So, first of all, what is looping? Looping is a program instruction, okay, that repeats some statement or sequence of statements in a specified number of times. So say for example, I will be asking you to display numbers 1 to 10. So instead of displaying s- see out one by one from 1 to 10, we will be using looping for it to repeat with a little statement kaysa sa ingon ani. Okay? So again, we have the three types of looping. We have for, we have while, and we also have the do while loop. Now, take note, the for loop is it executes a sequence of statements multiple times and abbreviates the code that manages the loop variable. For loop is very common in our lesson because um, this will be used all the time. And for me, I think the for loop is the easiest one to understand and to execute as well. Okay, so for the flowchart of the for loop. Okay, so here is the initialization of the variables, and then you will have a condition. Okay, then you will have a code block. If it's true, now if it's false, it will end. Okay. Now, what does increment mean? Increment means to increase. Okay, so for example, you have x plus plus. This is an increment, which just basically means that that is equal to x is equal to x plus 1. So this is what we call increment by 1. Okay, now for initialization, so the statement or the syntax of using the for loop is for, then open and close parentheses, then inside it are the initialization. Let's say, for example, x is equal to 1, y is equal to 1, or any variable equals to a number. Then a condition, say, for example, is x equal to, is x less than or 5 or something like that. No? So it depends upon our program what our conditions are. And of course, the increment. Okay? Increment means again to increase, no? Dili lang 1, pwede 2, 3, 4, or 5. So that's what increments mean. So you also have to have this curly braces here, and you have to put the statement or statements inside those curly braces. Now, let's say for example, we have to display 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So from 10 to 14, it will be harder or it will take you a very long time to kani siya gamay lang because that's 10 to 14. What about if 10 to 100, right? So you will be typing 100 lines of code. So let's use looping. Okay, so this would be the output. What is the code? Here, let's try to understand each line. So let's start with int a. Okay, of course you have to initialize, right? So initialize int a. So init or initialize, diba? Int a. And then after initializing, okay, after initializing, you already we have this for loop right here, which is or which we will be using to display from 10 to 14. Okay, again, in for loop, the first one is the initialization, the condition, and the increment. Since we are going to increment by 1, we will be using a plus plus. Okay, so a plus plus just basically means a is equal to a plus 1. Next, after you initialize int a, okay, what a perfect diamond. So, condition, right? So, is a less than 15? No? So, let's create a code block. Sorry about this, no? Masapawan siya, but I hope you will see and understood, no, what I mean. So, guys, each statement is comprised of what we call the semicolon. Okay, condition, initialization, semicolon, condition, semicolon, and the increment. Okay, now if the statement is true, which it just basically means that it will display the code blocks or the statements inside these curly braces here. Okay, so let's say for example, this one is a less than 15. If it's true, so you just say display the value of a. Okay, and then after that is the process. Okay, I will be explaining how does it work. So here you can put a equals a plus 1 or a plus plus. Okay, there's no problem with that. And then obviously your program will end. So let's modify this. If not, useless. So walang mangyayari. All right. So that would be the flowchart for this um, source code. Okay. Now let's try to understand each step. First thing that would happen is the initialization. We will start with number 10. Okay. So we will start with number 10. Let's erase this the flowchart. So I hope you took note of that one para mas maklaro ang explanation, no? Okay. So there you go. Then after initialization, you will be asked, is A less than 15? Okay, our value of A is 10. So now, it will be compared, is 10 less than 15? Obviously, that is true, right? So it's true, then this statement will display because it's true. The statement will display, and then, okay, so that is the third step. And then the a value will be incremented in which your value of for a first was 10, right? Sorry, that's a not x. So your first value of a equals 10. Now, it's true. So display, 'di ba? Display ang third step. You display. Then fourth step is increment a into 1. So that just means that 10 plus 1, so 11 na yung value ni a. Okay? Then, go back to the loop once again until such time a false siya. So, now the value of our A is 11. So, now 11 will now be compared to 15. So, still that is true. Okay? Kita niyo mo, true siya. So, mugawas na ang value na 11 afterwards. Okay? So, this would be the process. As you can see, 11 is less than 15. That is true. Okay, nagawas na. Next, na-increment na po si 11. 11 plus 1, 12. So 12 is less than 15. So it's still true. So mugawas na pud si value of A is 12. Then mag-increment na pud 13. Still true, gawas. Mag-increment si 13, may mong 14. 14 is less than 15, that's still true. Gawas. And then, mag-false na siya diri because 15 is not less than 15. So, pag false siya, mag-end ang loop. Okay? After the end of the loop, di ba, return 0 man, which basically means that our program ended. Okay. Now, let's go with the while loop. Actually, while loop is also easy to understand. So it repeats a statement or group of statements, sorry, while a given condition is true. It tests the condition before executing the loop body. So this is the syntax of the while loop. So while, then what the condition is while x is less than 10. So the statements. So unsa ang statements if true ang condition. Okay, so example, we will still be writing or having the output from 10 to 14, but now we will be using while loop, and I will let you know, or I will let you uh, observe or decide which one among the three is the most or the easiest or the most convenient one for you. Okay, so here's the code. Diba? Ang while loop is the syntax is while, condition, and then statements. Okay, kita niyo na. So, first is initialization. Now, is 10 less than 15? Yes, that's true. So, display ni siya ng mga statement. Display si statement, kani, si 10, and then increment si A, mahimong 11. This is the third step. Okay? So, 1, 2, 3, kani siya, si 2, kay nigawas man. So, sa screen output, mugawas si the value A is 10. Okay? So, mag-increment si A, nahimong 11. 11 is less than 15. Still true. Now, the value of now A is 11. Di ba? Nahimo ng 11 ang value sa A. So, 11 increment. So, until such time, mag-false siya. Mag-false lang siya pag ang value sa ato ang A will be 15 because 15 is not less than 15. So, end of the loop. Pag false na siya. Now, for the do while loop, actually, it's dili man siya similar, but yeah, it's kind of similar. Sorry, it's kind of similar because it will just do the statement while there's a condition. Say for this one, do the statements while in any condition. So, mara na gani. Let's go back sa dire. So, mura na siya buhatan ni pag true ni na condition. Di ba? Same lang. So, but the syntax is different. So, butangan ni mag do, tapos while, then statements. Okay? As do, tapos statements, then while. So, there. Okay? Buhaton daw si kani, statements, if or while A is less than 15. So, pag true daw ni siya, buhaton ni siya. No? So, same lang yapon siya og algorithm. All of them, the for, the while, and the do while loop are the same. So they have the same function. It's up to you. What will you be using? So mag-false lang po siya if the number would be 15 because 15 again is not less than 15 unless we put equal sign here. So pag may equal sign yan, magiging true. That will not be the end of the loop. So lalabas si value of A is 15 dyan. Okay, if that is the condition, if A is less than or equal to 15, kung ganun lang siya. But since less than 15, 15 is not less than 15, so the statement will not be false. Now, in a nutshell, the for loop is, or the syntax would be this one for initialization condition increment, and the statements are inside the curly braces. Then for the while loop, that we have while condition, and then the statements inside the curly braces, and the do while loop. So do the statements here inside the braces while we have this condition. Thank you very much for listening to this presentation. I hope you have learned something for our next lesson. So do not worry, we will have more examples during our live sessions. Okay, so for your activity, first activity for the looping, I want your theory or your opinion on which among the loops do you think is easier to use? So once again, thank you and have a nice day.